For example, I remember my first show at the sports bar. It went horrible. Just 5 minutes later, and one guy came up to me and said, "Hey, I think you're probably funny, but I don't understand what you're saying."
Oh, dang.
I know, but
and he was an Asian guy too?
Welcome back, everybody, to another amazing episode of The Careful Boys, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Joe Wong.
Hey! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me. And I just feel very special today.
Nice.
Good. I was pretty excited when you were on the roster, and then I messaged Bart, and I was like, "Hey, is that the stand-up comedian Joe Wong?" And then he's like, "Yeah, that's him." And I'm like, "Oh my god," because I first saw you, I think you were at the White House or something.
Oh yeah.
Doing stand-up at the
White House?
Yeah, but I didn't leave the bag of cocaine though.
That was some other guy.
Some other guy.
That had to be like 2016, 20...
Actually, that's 2010.
2010?
I know,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I remember watching that and going, "Oh, dude, like, he's funny, clean comedy, but he's able to, like, hit all the stuff." And I was just like, that's a really good, well-rounded comedian. And then, I would see your videos pop up once in a while.
Yeah, that's... some people got confused. They saw the video, they were like, "Is this Joe Biden? Why is he so young?"
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Because there is a conspiracy theory going around saying that the Biden we see right now is a clone of himself. You heard about this? No. Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but...
Well, it's kind of a shitty clone.
It's really wonky.
Tripping and falling.
They're still working out the kinks.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So you've been doing stand-up comedy for how long?
20 years.
Wow.
I know, yeah.
What got you into it?
Oh, I just, I'm just interested in humor, and I used to work in biotech, I never got the promotion and stuff. I figured, I should try something else, probably.
How did you go from biotech to comedy?
Same thing.
Yeah, you just gradually get into it. Actually, I took a stand-up comedy class. Yeah.
What even got you? Because that to me, biotech, stand-up comedy's here. Stand-up comedy class is still here. There's still a lot of gap.
Wait a minute. Your hand gesture is the opposite from a lot of Asian parents.
That's right.
Asian parents like biochemistry, comedy. Yeah.
Not in this room.
Not in this room, yeah.
How did you even take a class or even know to look for a class, especially 20 years ago?
Yeah, basically, one of my coworkers took me to a stand-up comedy show. It was the first comedian I saw was Emo Phillips. And I don't know if you guys know him. He's really good comic. He does a lot of really weird humor. He used to he just toured with Weird Al this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's that style.
Yes, a little bit similar sense of humor. They got along really well. They used to have a TV show together, and they just toured Europe this year. Anyway, but sometimes he does this weird voice, and he has this hair that's dyed white, hanging from one side. But when I saw him in Houston, he wasn't doing any of those. He just sits on stage in his normal voice and tell jokes, one after another. It was just so good, I was like, wow. I was like, I wish I understand the punchlines,
You didn't know English that well back then, or?
But that's the thing. I know English quite well, but then I don't understand the punchlines because I hear every word fine, and I understand all the setup, but none of the punchline. Yeah, but I understand some of it. So I was like, wow, this is great. Then my company just folded in Houston, so I moved to Boston. When you're in a new city, you just want to try something new. I figured, I tried, some golf, some, shooting, but then none of them stuck. He's like,
I'm picturing all the B-roll. It's not for me.
So I just looked into some. I saw an advertisement for a comedy class, so I just out of curiosity I went there, and that's the first time I learned that humor can be learned and trained. You know, yeah, because I always assume all the funny people were born that way, which is ridiculous. No baby came out of their womb and they're just really happy. And, everyone
You should
just
meet
quite-
his son.
Oh, really?
Natural comedian
Oh, really?
from a baby.
More like a prankster.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I see.
He's developing. He's developed. Yeah.
Natural go-to thing just by himself in the corner. His favorite thing was like he has this plastic pizza.
Yeah.
And he would go like this.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 and he'd fall and he'd put the pizza on his face. And like he was just already just doing like Three Stooges physical
really?
comedy just by himself. Like he's just practicing in his, yeah, like he's not performing for anyone or I'm just watching him like, what the heck is he doing? Yeah.
But you should. Did you tape it?
I have it.
Oh yeah! Wow, that's amazing. Oh, so many times I wish I taped my son doing stuff, you know. But you know, he's already 16. Too late.
You can start taping him now.
Oh yeah. But he's a teenager now. You know, he got really annoyed if you.
So the comedy class was actually good.
Yeah, I learned a lot of basics. You know, I didn't even know. You know, like a joke has a setup and punchline before that.
So it was a stand-up comedy course. Yeah. And then they helped
That's
you
amazing.
with structure and.
Oh yeah, and also from the course, I know a bunch of people who started around the same time, so there's some camaraderie there. You know, like for example, you know, I remember my first show at the sports bar. It went horrible. You know, just 5 minutes later, yeah, and one guy came up to me and said, "Hey, I think you're probably funny, but I don't understand what you're saying."
Oh dang.
I know, but
And he was an Asian guy too?
Oh, I remember you. No, just-
Does it speak English?
He's like, sorry.
But still, yeah, because but then I really noticed that none of my other classmates are doing well, so I feel slightly better. You know? That's why you need someone to start around the same time, you know. And also, they came from different walks of life. That's kind of interesting to me too. You know, we have lawyers, patent guy, advertisement people, and one guy who runs a hardware store. You just
Everyone that just hates their job. We need something else. Hey, you're a biotech guy.
you're a biotech guy.
And golfing and shooting didn't work for you.
Yeah. But you know, but looking back, some of the guys, even though they're really new, I just remember some of them are really good right off the bat. You know, I remember one guy, he told this joke. We still remember it. The guy basically said, "Oh, I went to my grandma's place this Sunday. I think she was using her vibrator because it was dry."
Oh, that's crazy.
That sounds like the hardware guy.
It was horrible, but then you think about it, well, it kind of makes sense that you're, you know.
After you didn't do so well, what made you want to like keep going?
Well, that's the thing.
That's like telling jokes and then no one laughing is like one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah, that's why I think my experience is if you start with a group of 20, you usually have 1 or 2 people left after half a year. It's just so frustrating, yeah, including the guy who wrote the joke I just told.
Yeah. He doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, most people just quit. But then that's what I'm saying to people. If you do something and you fail, but you still want to do it, then that might be your calling, you know. Yeah, you just have to. Yeah.
So you failed, but you still enjoyed it and you wanted to keep going. So that's what probably separated you, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't enjoy failing though. Every time I have bad show, I'm like, oh, I suck. You know, it just makes me feel bad for like days. Yeah. But then a couple of days later, you still want to climb up and go back to the clubs and tell jokes. You know, so I guess that's.
How was the pay change from biochemistry to
Oh my God! Have you fallen off a cliff? Because you know, I got paid fairly well, like middle class type of salary when I was in biotech. But in stand-up comedy, I didn't make a dime for the first 5 years.
Jeez.
What'd you do? Like just live off savings, or were you like a waiter? Or
No, I just basically go to work during the day and tell jokes at night. Yeah, and I can't even get stage time because it's pretty competitive, this business. So if the club owner knows you're a new guy, they just usually don't give you any spot.
So you just sit there and wait.
Yeah, sometimes I go to the comedy club and wait. That's why sometimes.
And then you finally get the 12 o'clock crowd when they're all drunk.
Oh yeah.
In the B room. Yeah.
Or in the basement of a motel, that kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, but sometimes, that's why people sometimes joke, you're not a stand-up comedian, you're a stand-by comedian. Yeah, but you have to put in the time, and that's I still find it very tough in Los Angeles, because in basically every other city, stage time is fairly easy for me. Even in Australia, I just came back from a tour of Australia and New Zealand. I go to a city, I basically email the booker a day or two ahead. I can pretty much get some stage time, but not in Los Angeles. That's just really tough.
there's just so many comedians here.
So many comedians. Also, I'm really new in town, and also this town values celebrities way more than stand-up comedians. Yeah, because if you go to like New York, it's very different. There, people still value content more. So
you mean that celebrities are getting stand-up comedian stage time?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so like at the comedy clubs here, like Laugh Factory or any of them, Comedy Store, if there's a celebrity that wants to do stand-up comedy, interesting.
Everybody has to cut their time. The celebrity has to go in and do their set.
And the celebrity is also stand-up comedian too, right? Or no?
It doesn't have to. They don't have to be. Wow. Yeah.
It's like influencers here too. They let influencers have stage time here.
Like if Logan Paul showed up, they'd be like, oh yeah, just give him the mic.
I mean, half as famous as him even.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he makes sense because he's big.
Yeah. That's great.
Plus, you have to factor in the networking. Like if you just know somebody.
Oh yeah. It's especially in LA. It's all about how you hang with people. It's very different. Because when I started doing stand-up, I was 32. I have a family. I have a mortgage. I have to worry about all these stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, I go in and do my comedy and just get out. I don't.
So you didn't network.
Oh, you're not going to the bar after and hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why they used to call me the comedy ninja, because I just go in, do my set, and leave.
That's racist.
I know. What? You haven't heard the most racist part yet.
Can't wait.
Really? You want to hear this?
You're the comedy ninja.
Oh, one of the racist kid was actually an Asian dude. We did a show in the basement, and I think he's probably some kind of Asian college kid. He's sitting in the front row, and he just started to do these awful Asian accents.
Oh shit! Just heckling?
While you were doing your set.
I know, yeah. I was like, oh, man.
What if he just talks like that? And he just got here from China, and you're like, you motherfucker.
But here's I can tell a real accent from fake one, but just. Oh man, and he's also an Asian kid, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna let this go. It was just so awful because other comedians were like, oh man, I wish I could go over and beat him up. I'm like, yeah, but then now we say this word like internalized racism more now, but at the time there's not even a term for it. But I just like I guess the kid thought it was funny. I guess.
Did everybody laugh when he did it though?
Oh no! Everybody just feels so awkward.
He didn't kill.
He's killing it.
I was there to try to memorize my jokes. No.
Does your kid think you're funny?
Oh, probably.
Or is it a tough crowd?
Yeah.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, I know.
Every teenager thinks their dad's lame.
I know. Yeah. I totally appreciate that. I am lame though, because sometimes I just feel that I'm just nothing about me sticks out. Like I remember sometimes like like newspaper reporter will come to my house. They take some pictures of me. I was like, there's nothing special.
Just holding a spatula. Like,
I know. Yes.
Can you pose?
Yeah, exactly. Give me angry face, happy face.
that's true because most celebrities or stand-up comedians, there's like a thing about them.
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah.
can kind of like hone in on that thing.
Like Carrot
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah, but you're just.
Oh, Carrot Top. Oh, Gallagher.
Yeah, start smashing watermelons. See what happens.
Are you still in bio? Are you still in that
Oh,
space?
no.
So
When
now
did you make the transition into becoming a full-time entertainer?
Oh, that was after the White House gig.
Oh, so that one really skyrocketed the start.
Actually, it was before that, I got a lot of coverage. But after that, sometimes I go to work and we have a stack of Wall Street Journal, and I'm on the front page.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like, I was like,
cool.
yeah, I pretend I didn't see it. And then walk to my office and I used to work for this company that's kind of the largest corporation in Europe, and probably second or third largest in the world. It's the pharmaceutical company. Nobody knows me. That's a big hierarchy. But after that, when they have board meetings, they will come to my office first and chat a little bit. I was like,
So all the executives are like,
and then I was like, I of course, I'm gonna chat a little bit, but I have no idea who they are. But gradually, I got more out of town gigs, so I just have to quit the day job.
What brought you to the West Coast?
Oh.
'Cause that's where you stay now, right?
Yeah. It's complicated, Yeah, my son's going to school here, and my manager's here too, so I figured I'll give this place a try, Yeah.
Oh, so you're new to this area?
Oh, it's very new. I just moved here, like January this year.
No way! Whoa, sweet.
Yeah.
How do you like all the Asian food? The proximity to all the Asian food?
Oh, I can't complain.
Where are you moving from?
Beijing, yeah. From China, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I did like comedy for 10 years there.
Oh, you started there?
Oh, no, I started in Boston.
Oh.
I was gonna say,
'Cause I was like,
10 years of Beijing jokes?
it's hard being a comedian out there, huh?
Was that in Chinese?
Can you do stand-up comedy in Chinese too?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So do you have like separate sets, or is it just
Oh, yeah.
like translated into?
No, it's separate sets because it's hard to translate. I mean the basic rules and techniques are the same.
Yeah.
But the sensitivity and culture is so different. Yeah.
Do you tour there too?
Oh yeah. I toured there too. Yeah.
Is the comedy culture the same there? Like people go to like stand-up comedy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the same thing. There's like comedy clubs and all of that?
Yes. Stand-up comedy is probably the biggest phenomenon in entertainment for the past 10 years in China.
Wow. I thought it was just like an American or English-speaking thing.
It was. There is a stand-up. There was a stand-up comedy. And then when I went to China back in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
And I still remember I tried to promote it. So sometimes I would do these small shows in alleys in Beijing. It's a little yard. I'll just do some sets, and there's some younger kids do something. Afterwards, finally, this lady raised her hand. I was so happy. I was like, finally, they're interested. I was like, what kind of question do you have? And she was like, do you think my son should go to America to study?
That's such a Chinese question. It's so practical.
Comedy genius.
I know.
It's like, do you like Tylenol too?
Oh yeah.
It's like, you think it's a good medicine? Yeah. You think it'll help my headache? Oh my god. So what was your answer to her?
I'm like, sure, you should go there and do stand-up comedy. No. But then when I was first there's like one comedy club in a city of 24 million people, and I went there after a show. Basically, there were like 5 or 6 guys that were interested. They was basically formed a little circle right next to a dumpster. I still remember that. And they just asked me, how the comedy clubs are run in America, what are the open mics, what are the professional shows are like, But now there are at least 20 comedy clubs just in Beijing itself. Wow. They have shows every night, It was amazing.
And it's all in Chinese.
All in Chinese. Oh, and there's also English stand-up there too. Because there's a big expat community there. And I do English stand-up there as well, but the crowds are so diverse, On the same night, you have people from South Africa, England, Netherlands. Sometimes you will see like Americans sitting right next to an Iranian. They're laughing together. I was like, wow, I wish I could see this at the UN.
Except they're falling asleep at those.
Yeah, so it's a very it's really, but right now there's like hundreds of clubs all over the country, it's really amazing.
Damn, that's tight. I didn't know it was like that.
Who's the Chinese like Dave Chappelle?
Chinese Dave Chappelle?
Yeah,
Probably you, huh?
Oh, no.
I'll say it for you.
Yeah, but there are a couple of guys who made it really big there. But it didn't become a thing until 2020 after pandemic started. So it's just really just
new budding scene out there.
But it grows that fast.
Yeah, but it took like years just for people to hone their skills in smaller comedy clubs. Wow. Yeah, and when I went to China and hosted a TV show there, and on that TV show I had to tell some jokes, and there was no comedy club to practice my jokes. So at the time I had to go to a college or a company and use their conference room and just try some jokes, and that's it. It was really tough in the beginning, but now it's just blossoming. It's quite interesting.
When did you come to the States?
1994.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his timeline is like, what the fuck?
I know. Yeah.
So that must have been a big change, because you're here while everything is developing there, and then you go back and you're like, what the?
I know, yeah. Just because just looking back, the couple of times I feel that I'm starting from zero. Coming to America to study is one. Because I was a pretty good student when I was in China. But then I came to America. Because when I was in China, sometimes I got full score in organic chemistry tests. I came here, people thought I don't know anything about organic chemistry because I didn't learn it in English. I can't express myself. Yeah. Oh, it was so painful.
Damn, that must be.
Yeah. And then gradually I got used to that and I actually got a PhD in biochemistry. And then I started stand-up comedy. It was like
starting over again.
Yeah, I was starting over.
You're the startup master.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Your parents must have been so proud.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, they weren't around to know this because they were in China.
Oh, thank God.
That wasn't around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then I moved to China. You start from scratch again. I still remember, sitting at the Starbucks in Beijing, writing jokes from the first word. It's just always something like this. But it's kind of thrilling too. I feel I'm a stand-up comedian in America, but in China, I feel I'm part of a movement. Just like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's well put.
Yeah.
You're international, man.
Yeah.
You're pioneering a whole genre in China because they're just doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Because 2020 is like the birth of stand-up comedy in China.
Well, no, probably the boom. The birth is like about 10 years earlier.
Oh, but that's still very recent.
Oh, you're like the original kings of comedy.
Oh yeah.
What if the movement becomes biochem people everywhere are quitting
to become jokesters? Who's gonna make the medicine now?
There's now a deficit in that department.